Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. This is Mathematics. In this video, we are going to look at the 2020 P1 GCE. With me are the first two questions on the board. But before we could consider these two questions, I have something for you. This is the paper for 2020 GCE. Now, I'm very much interested where it says information for candidates. Bear in mind that this paper 1 is 80 marks, and then paper 2, 100 marks. That means the total for mathematics is 180. A lot of marks. Why should you fail all that? So you should get at least 170 out of 180 marks. Very, very possible. Very possible. Now, coming back to this, where it says information for candidates, the first one says, no paper for rough work is to be provided. That's the first one. You need to know. That means there are spaces here that we are going to use for all your calculations. Then the second one, it says, omission of essential working will result in loss of marks. I'm interested in that very much. Look at this. The first question, we were told to simplify this expression, 2 marks. The way these 2 marks will be divided is in this way, 2 categories. There's what we call method mark and the answer mark. Okay? That means if you just go straight to the answer, you will not be given these 2 marks. You will not. Method must always be there, and it is the one that is very, very important than the answer. Get it from me. The method is very, very important. You will be able to score a lot of marks by showing your calculations, and they must be neat. They must be well done. Now, let's get started. The way I will be solving the questions, please, that is the same way you should also solve in the exam. We are inviting distinctions. The first question here is simplify 2a plus, in brackets we have b minus a minus 2b. We have to identify the topic from which the question is coming from. That is the first thing. But what is common now is immediately you see the paper, you want to start checking. The moment you see question, the first question has got 2q minus, because Mr. Kalunga gave you 2a, now what is in the exam is 2q. Even the hope is gone. No, it shouldn't be like that. Same topics, what will just be different will be questioned. That's all. Topics will be the same. Now, if we look at this, what topic is this? Algebra. The moment I remember that this is algebra, I will be able to remember what we discussed about algebra. It's about simplification, it's about factorization. That is algebra. I also need to take note of indices. Not indices rather, but integers. Okay? Integers are also board mass. Those are some of the things that I need to have here. When I got this, and they've said I should simplify. Simplify, they are telling me to reduce the number of terms. This is an expression, not an equation. So when you are solving, when you are simplifying, no equal sign. No equal sign here. It is an expression. No equal sign. Hope we are together. So, the way I will start now, I will be able to target this area for brackets. I have to get rid of the brackets. So I'll say 2a, so I've started now in the paper. 2a, then to remove these brackets, I have to multiply. The brackets here, remember, means what? Multiplication. So I'll say, there's 1 here, there's no number, consider that there's 1 here. So we're saying this 1 times b, that will give us positive b, where it is. Then this positive and negative signs, integers. Positive, negative gives you negative. I see that? Then 1 times A will give me A. The brackets are gone. No repetition of brackets at that point. And then I'll write the other term, minus 2B. What next? Like terms. Group them. I've got 2A. I've got another A. I see that? I've got these two terms. So I'll say 2A minus A. I'm grouping them. No change of sign that this one has to come here so it will be positive. No, that is not an equation. That's why I'm saying no equal sign. So here you have this, you're going to have what? Then this side we have B, and then the other side here I've got it minus 2B. Remember, algebra, like terms, can be subtracted, can be added. So look at this, these are two like terms. What is 2A minus A? This will give me A. Because there is 1 here, the coefficient of A is 1. So I have 2A minus A will give me A. Then this side here, I've got B, which I should carry that there is 1 here minus 2. What is the answer? 1 minus 2. Don't say it can't. This will give us negative 1. So this entire thing here will give me negative B. You cannot say this. No. You can't say negative 1B. It's just negative B. Ends there. At this point, you are done. Underline it. There is where there will be space where you're supposed to write your answer. Quickly do that. A minus B. That is the answer. Ends there. You have to know where you are supposed to end. Now, some of you even go on. At this point, A minus B, you write AB. That is the end. These two, you can't subtract them. They are not like terms. It's like guavas and oranges. You can't subtract. You see that? They are different. So that is on that. Let's look at the second one. Evaluate 64 over 125 raised to the power negative 1 over 3. 2 marks again. You see that? 2 marks. So the allocation of marks here, on this one here, will be, you say, MM, meaning method mark 1, then answer mark 1. So this you give 2. This will be able to give you 2. To evaluate means you get the exact value. You get the exact value of this without using the calculator. Remember, paper 1, no calculator. So if it entails that you use the fingers, please do that. No calculator must be used. So for this one, we'll say 64 over 125 negative 1 over 3. What topic is this? Indices, right? Then I'll say, oh, indices is about the laws of indices, converting, what and what. All that must be here before you carry on with this question. Then I'll say, okay, there's a negative here. What have we learned about a negative power when it comes to integers? When it comes to indices. We said, if there is a negative here, you can swap the fraction. To change the negative to positive, you swap the fraction. So, I want to get rid of the negative here, right? So I'll say 125 over 64, I'll swap the fraction, then this negative has gone because I've swapped the negative. I've swapped the fraction. Then I'll get 1 over 3. I don't have to repeat the negative here, no. Next step will be the power is a fraction. What did we learn about that? We say, okay, if it is a fraction, Then the numerator is called power, then the denominator is the root. So with that in mind again, that this is the root, I will be able to say, oh, it has to do with this. The root. I see that? Where I'll say, inside here, that is where the fraction will be. 125 over 64. Then, in brackets like that, I'll say now, power 1. Root 3. You put the root there. You see that? Next, I will say, what is the meaning of this? The power is 1, so there will be no problem there. Unless if there was power 2, 3, what and what, then I'll say, okay, I'll still get back to this. But the power is 1. So there's nothing to worry, to get worried. So here now, when you see something like this, the way we read, we say cube root of 125 over 64. Cube root of 125 over 64. So now, since we have got a fraction here, you can separate the fraction. You can separate. If there is a what? A fraction, separate. And the way we separate now is like this. I'll say cube root of 125. You write it like this. Over cube root of 64. You separate them like that. After separating, we are almost there. We'll say cube root of 125. We are saying what number can you multiply itself 3 times and it should give you 125. So those are small numbers. Small numbers. You don't have to think maybe 50. Those are small numbers. The only number that you can multiply itself 3 times and it should give you 125 is 5. That's a number. It's 5. Over what number can you multiply itself 3 times and it should give you 64? It's 4. If you want now, you can say, okay, let me test 5 times 5 times 5. You see if this one will not give you 125. Here, you say 4 times 4 times 4. You see if it will not give you 64. See that? At this point here, you've got 5 over 4. 5 over 4, of which now I can leave it at that stage, or I can write that one in mixed fraction. There's no problem. I'll say now, how many 4s are in 5? 1. Remember 1 over 4. And there. That will be my answer. Hope you're following. Let's look at this, the next question.